What does it mean to be in fellowship? What does it mean to you personally to have fellowship with other people? If I was to ask you, what does it mean together, to be together, what would you say? For me, on a personal level, my weight loss journey got off to such a good start when we moved to Erskine after joining Slimworld. Because I was with like-minded people who were on the same journey. And being together in my group on a Monday morning, it helped spur me on for the week ahead, knowing that whether it was a win or a loss, that I had the encouragement to keep going, whatever we faced. I also remember sharing part of my story on one of our first Sundays here in Erskine. Now, I remember that Sunday morning quite well, knowing on the lead up to it, wondering what to say, thinking whether would I be able to say what I wanted to say, what I'd planned to say. And I remember feeling so emotional at that time. During that meeting and after, I can look back and I remember the words of comfort, the love, the hugs that was offered to me. And I felt in that moment in my spirit that I was being spurred on, that I was being encouraged by each one of you. And that's exactly the spurring on within our Christian journey and our spiritual journey that fellowship offers each one of us. Fellowship should never be a lesser part of the church. Fellowship is an integral part of our foundations, just as teaching and Bible study and prayer is, so is fellowship. And so I wonder what fellowship has been like for you over the years. What has it been like to be together for you? I'm sure many of us will have our own stories and our own experiences to share with each other. Experiences of how fellowship within the church has spurred you on and kept you going. Of how that fellowship has been there at the right times for you. For the early Christians that we've just not long read about, for them being together was clearly an important part, that they committed themselves to the life together, to the sharing of meals, to praying together, and to the teaching. It was a commitment. They dedicated themselves to living that life together, to everything that it involved. There's many things I miss since lockdown happened back in March. But one of the big things I miss is being with each one of you. On Sundays during the week, I miss the buzz that we felt the minute we walked into Erskine Salvation Army on day one. I genuinely miss being with people. And I have always felt better with being around people. I'm an introvert, but there's just something that being with other people that just helps me go from day to day. And I long for the day when we can all be together again and enjoy fellowship in the way that we once did. And lockdown has got me thinking, and especially as I've looked at what fellowship and how important that is. And as I've just said, I really do miss people. I miss seeing each one of you on a regular basis. But isn't it interesting that during lockdown, the one thing that we probably all have in common is that we miss being with people. We miss seeing our family and our friends. We miss being with our church family. We miss people. what lockdown has taught me, and hopefully each one of you who is tuning in right now, is that one of the most things in this life is being able to be with people and to share our journeys with them. We were never made to do this journey of life alone. We were meant to be and created to be in community, encouraging one another and building each other up. When we're together more often on a regular basis, it's not surprising that we share more of our stories and our journey with those around us. I want to share with you a quote I read from this week from Tom Wright, and it says this: "Where people ignore the common life of the Christian faith, the technical term often used is fellowship, which is more than friendship but not less, they become isolated and often find it difficult to sustain a living faith." Now, we may be isolated from each other in these days, but that doesn't stop us keeping in touch with each other, to keep communicating, continuing to share with others the joys and the sorrows that we face on a day-to-day basis. It also doesn't stop us from being able to build each other up in the faith, and that's a very important thing for us to do. The Christian faith is a corporate faith. It's a corporate thing. We are the body of Christ, and just as the human body can't function if one part doesn't work, and I've felt a wee bit like that this week as I've injured my back somehow, that the minute one bit goes, the rest seems to fall apart too. We can't function without one part missing. So we too can't be part of the body of Christ alone. We need each other. Perhaps now more than ever, that we need one another. One of the questions I want to ask you this morning is this: how can we move forward and grow in fellowship purposefully in the next few months as we continue to advance and to move forward in our mission here in Erskine? And it's been said many times throughout lockdown that the church isn't closed. Just because the doors perhaps are closed more often than they were before, the church isn't closed, because the church isn't the building, the church is the people. We are very, very much still here and very much at work in Erskine. And so that should be the same for us in our fellowship with others too. How can we move forward and develop and grow in our fellowship with others with purpose? I want to leave with you words from John chapter 13, verses 34 to 35. And it says these words: "A new commandment I give you, love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." Love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. It doesn't get more simple than that. Fellowship is one very important part of our makeup as a Christian church and as a church family. It is by our fellowship, by the way in which we show love and care to those around us, how we interact with others, that will draw people to see Jesus and draw them into a relationship with him.